Let all the participants join and we'll start. Dear teachers, kindly rename yourself. Don't enter by device name. Please enter your name.
Furniture on his back. It's worth at least 2 years of salary. And yet he will faithfully pedal the money back to his boss without ever touching a single.
Kindly mute yourself.
Because Indians are the world's most honest and spiritual people. No, it's because
Let everyone join and we'll start. Great. So welcome to this session, teachers. And thank you so much for this lovely response which I got for this particular session. And I'm so happy that we are able to help you out in the field of teaching, particularly for foundation years. So it is really a pleasure that we are sharing our learning with the teachers. And of course, it is helpful for you. Your response shows that you are believing in us. And I feel that we will be carrying on this further and will be helping you more and more. So this very session is particularly for early years, uh, early years education care program. And today we have a collaborator as well in our session, Miss Archana Mathur. She will also contribute for the same topic, that is basics of ECCE program. And I hope this collaborative learning will definitely help my teachers to excel more and more in the field of teaching, particularly for foundation years. So let everyone join. Teachers are still joining. Let everyone join and then we will proceed further. Great. So yes, our collaborator, Miss Archana Mathur is here. She will begin the session. She will show you the insights of this program. Followed by it, I shall be doing one case study with you. Because without practical learning, it is not possible to, implement any learning in the classroom. So I shall be doing one case study, followed by which I shall be giving you the tips also for like say in the classroom, how you will deal with certain things in the classroom. And last but not the least, the teacher activity. So Miss Archana Mathur is here. She will start the session. Miss Archana Mathur, please. Archana Mathur ma'am, please. Archana Mathur ma'am, am I audible to you? Teachers, am I audible to you?
Yeah, ma'am, you are audible.
Archana Mathur ma'am, can you hear me?
Voice is very low, ma'am.
Archana Mathur, ma'am, are you there? Just a moment. Wait. Just a moment, teachers. Maybe she is facing some network error, so she will join in a moment. Kindly cooperate. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Miss Archana Mathur is here.
yes,
She
yes.
is the collaborator for this session, and she will begin with a few interesting insights for this particular program, and followed by this, we will be doing further. So
Uh,
let's start. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Good evening, Aarti ma'am, and good evening to all the eminent educators, all teachers and collaborators here. Um, a very good evening to all of you. Today I'm here, just to introduce the topic which Aarti ma'am is very passionate about, which is ECCE, that is Early Childhood Care and Education. And I'm sure all of you who are into, nursery teachers training or who are taking the junior classes, this is going to be a very fruitful session for all of you. So I'll just share my screen because time is limited and I have to complete my presentation in 20 minutes. So I'll just go to, just let me know if my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is the topic for today, which is early childhood care and education. You already know what it is, so I'll just throw a little bit of light on what it's all about. Just the beginning or the introduction to this concept. Okay. So ECCE basically is about very young children. It's it's a standard kind of a classification which was done by International Standard Classification of 1 minute, my slide is changing on its own. Uh, this is, it classifies early childhood education as a school-based or any other institution-based care and learning for a group of young children. Today, my laptop is giving a problem. The slides are changing on its own. Anyways, so this is like the International Standard Classification of Education in 2011. It classified early childhood education as a school-based or otherwise institutionalized care and learning for a group of young children. Okay. So ECCE can be, it can be based on three platforms. The first is center-based, like the child is sent to a daycare center. Then it's community-based, that is the people around the neighborhood, because we learn, we are social animals, we learn from the people who are around us. And center-based is, those people, those parents who are working, right? So because they have to make a balance between their work and their children. So for the betterment of the children and for their safe upkeep, they leave them in daycare centers, which is the last resort. If you remember, in our Indian families, it used to be the big, huge family which used to take care of all the children, the cousins and all. They were just, raised without making extra effort. But today we have these small families. We are not living in joint families. So that's why this problem has, it has come up as a big problem. So initially or even today, if you have your families to support you, that is the best thing that could happen. Like if we had home-based early childhood care, that would be the best. Second is community-based, like friends and all, your social circle, your community, your colony. If you have some people around you, then it's very easy to raise these young children. So a few other terms that are used for ECC, these are early childhood education, which is ECE, early childhood care and development, that is ECCD. Then we have early childhood development, ECD. Then it's a long one, early childhood education, care and development. And the last one, which I've taken, there were a few more, but I've taken just these 5. So we are going to now give more importance or impetus to early childhood care and education, which is ECCE, and that's the main topic for us today. This particular term refers to all the programs for children between the ages of 0, that is, once they are born, up to the age of 2.5 years. That is, they don't go to school, they don't go to any preschool also. So this is the time, but since the parents are working, they have to leave the child somewhere, so they leave them in a creche or any other place or a daycare center where the child is to be looked after. Now, this age is a very, very crucial age where a lot of development of the child is taking place. All sorts of development. It's social, it's emotional, it's cognitive, everything. The child learns everything at a very fast pace at this age. In fact, I'll discuss another term a little later. So slowly, as the child develops, these growth patterns, they become slower. But initially, when the child is so young, he's just born or she's just born, that's the time when the maximum kind of development takes place. Okay. Now we come to early childhood educational development. Education, we know, is very important, whether our child is going to school or not, but right from day 1, the child's education starts. What is the first thing that he learns or she learns? The baby learns to recognize its family, the mother first, then the father, then the grandparents, and brothers, sisters, siblings, whoever. So as soon as the baby is born, the learning starts off. Okay, it may not be a very formal kind of learning, but the child's brain begins to develop right from day 1. It has been developing even in the prenatal period, but as soon as the birth takes place, a lot of development starts off. Physical development, we can all see, but emotional, social, cognitive, all these kinds of developments, they happen within. So ECED refers to the child care services which are meant for children between the ages of 0 to 2. That is from birth to the age of 2 years or maybe up to 3 years. So what are these services? These are the ones where parents have to take help from external agencies, right? So the child learns to, stay away from the parents, from his or her own home, and their growth begins. It's a very difficult time because this is an age which is very impressionable, and the child may find it difficult to stay away from the mother because she is the first teacher. Then we come to pre-primary education, before the child joins actual school. So this is the age when children are in preschool between the ages of 3 to 5 years. And this is the time where their little minds start taking shape in the formal kind of setup. They grow in different ways. They go to school, they learn the concept of education, they learn the concept of timetable, they learn, different kinds of teachers who are there. Somebody takes one subject, another takes another subject. And this is the time when teachers have to give a lot of, their concern. They have to really look after these small little children who are very, very impressionable. They are very tender minds, and anything which goes wrong at this particular time, it's going to affect them throughout their lives. And if positive things happen, they will remain positive all through. So teachers who are into this kind of education, where they are dealing with these very, very young minds, they have to be very careful. They have to be very attentive that there is nothing which takes place in the negative manner. So whatever feedback or whatever they are giving to the children, it has to be exceptionally positive so that the child develops in a positive manner in all the times to come. Okay. What is the core ideology? What was the idea behind ECCE? Like I just said, that when the child, when we were, brought up in joint families, nobody had to bother, because if the mother wasn't available, some aunt, some taiji, chachi, buaji used to be available at home, and they used to look after the small child. Because this is the time when the critical or cognitive development also takes place. There is a term, if you do psychology, there's a term called synaptogenesis, which I have not used over here as such. This is, the development of your neurons in the brain. We know there are nerve cells which we cannot see. These nerve cells make us feel. So this is synaptogenesis. It's the development of nerve cells which takes place in the brain. And this is at the maximum speed when the child is unborn or when the child is born immediately. The newborn baby, synaptogenesis is fastest at that particular time. So this critical developmental window takes place, the development of this window takes place at a very, very early stage. Okay, so what happens is that these early years are very, very crucial for brain development, and ECCE programs, which are very carefully designed for this particular stage, they provide stimulating environments and experiences which lay the foundation for future learning and success. Okay, so ECCE programs are basically intended to give them a platform from where the children will grow. Then what do we do is, there is play-based learning. We all know children love games, they love toys. So ECCE programs generally take help of games and kinds of, activities where lots of children are involved. So when the learning is based on play, it could be building blocks, it could be putting beads into a thread or in a shoelace. All these things, they not only give cognitive development or learning, but they also give the children motor skills, how to pick up things, how to put them in the right place. So motor development, the skill development, the cognitive development, all of these take place when the learning is based on games and playway. Playway method, we've heard it so many times. Then if you put your child in an ECCE center, there is individualized attention which is paid to the ward. Because here, the number of children is very, very less, maybe one teacher for 10 children. So she can give very, very personalized kind of an attention to all her students and all the babies who are under her care. I call them babies, not students, because they're too tiny, they're too tender. So individual attention is something which they require at that particular time, and ECCE programs ensure that individualized attention is given to all the children who enroll for this particular scheme. Then we come to partnership with families. Now, families, as I just mentioned, are very, very important in our lives. This is the place where life begins and love never ends. So what do these ECCE schools do? They make a kind of a partnership with families. And here, the parents and the caregivers, I mean, others also, the members of the family, they are considered as very crucial partners in a child's development. So positive parenting and practices and open communication are the points or concepts which are given a lot of importance in our ECCE programs. Yeah. What is the content of the ECCE program? What does it contain? What is basically ECCE program made of? So initially, we try to train our children in early literacy and numeracy. I just mentioned that beads, wooden beads, which are harmless, we have to see that they don't hurt the child's fingers. So there are big beads and some thick laces, I mean, shoelaces or some thick kind of a string is given to children. And they are taught, addition and subtraction, like 10 beads are in a string. So if you take out 2, then how many remain? Or instead of taking 10 initially, 5 can be taken. So early numeracy, like what exactly is the concept of addition and subtraction? This is taught to children in a very simplified and playway manner. So this is the first content of ECCE program, which is early literacy and numeracy. The second is creative expression and artistic skills. See, children are all very multifaceted, and it takes time for us as parents and teachers to understand their skills, because all of them have some skill or the other. Some may have it more in a more kind of it could be more in them, and some people could have it less, but every child has some skill, some artistic skill, and also they have their own way to express they have to express their emotions or feelings in a creative manner. So you must have seen in nursery schools also, a lot of artwork is done. Children's fingers are colored, and then they make caterpillars, or they make, steps, the sign of steps, by using their fists and then using their fingers to make tiny steps. And they can just do anything. They can be given plasticine, which is harmless, some kind of good plasticine or sand or clay, which does not affect them adversely. So a lot of their creative expression is seen through these kinds of activities, not necessarily paints only. There are so many activities which can be performed in these classes. In fact, they are sometimes told to tear papers. They tear the sheets and then they paste them into different shapes. So they give a base, or they give light to their own emotion and expression. They can use it in any manner, and we just leave it to them. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. It's like everything, whatever the child makes is something good, and it is something which is meaningful and precious, because they are just giving an expression to what they have in their minds. So their artistic skills and their motor skills develop through these kinds of activities. Language. You must have observed, and I have also seen in my very immediate kind of society, there are some children who start speaking very early, and there are some children who do not speak even up to the age of 3 years. Now, why does this happen? This has been a kind of a question in my mind. And then slowly, when I observed the people, when I saw the parents and I observed them very, very closely, I realized that the children whose parents are very vocal with them, who talk to them, who recite nursery rhymes to them, or poems to them, or tell them stories, those children learn to speak faster. Whereas those children who do not get to be with their parents for long durations because they are working and they are probably left with their maids and all, they take a lot of time to pick up their own mother tongue also. So I came to this conclusion that if we want our children to understand our language and to learn it in the right perspective, it's very important to continuously engage them with them in some kind of conversation. Multilingualism will come later. At least the mother tongue should be learned by the child as early as possible. There are children who have started speaking even at the age of 11 months. Okay, so this is something different. For every child, the milestones are different, but not to be speaking till the age of 3 years is something which is worrisome. So we as teachers, or we as promoters of ECCE programs, we want the children to be good, at least in their mother tongue, to express the basic necessities or the basic feelings which they have. Like if there's a stomach ache, the child should be able to speak dard ho raha hai, or whatever they can say in their own mother tongue. I know only Hindi, so I said that.
Very
So
very
home language is something, or mother tongue is something which we do expect our children to pick up by the age of 1. Other languages can follow when they start going out in centers or maybe in crashes. But mother tongue should be learned by the child as early as the first year of his or her life. Right. So continuing with the contents of ECCE programs, the next is health and nutrition. This, the teachers and the caregivers have to be absolutely confident about, that whatever is being given to the child to eat, it has to be healthy food, because we need good nutrition for social and emotional development, which again is a big part of the agenda in the ECCE program. Social and emotional development. So what are we to pay attention to? That the children are eating healthy food, which is tasty also. It should not be bland, that they stop eating and they develop an aversion to foods which are good. We have to wean them away from junk food, because as soon as they start understanding things, they see junk food, burgers, pizzas, pastas, everything. So we have to wean them away from this, and we have to teach them the concept of healthy food and healthy nutrition. Social and emotional development, because there are other children also who are coming to this center, and whatever we may say, like our friends are the second family. So we have to teach our children how to be socially active, how to be friends with people, how to, have very, very close friendships and play. So play will unite them. Okay, so for social development, we have to make the activities play-based, and emotional development can be done by telling them very nice moral stories. Children learn a lot from stories. So this way, ECCE centers or ECCE teachers can promote social and emotional development of their little babies who come to them. Cognitive development, again, is important because ultimately the child has to go to school. He or she will have to go to school where they'll have to study. So cognitive development takes place in ECCE centers through different kinds of activities. It's not formal kind of learning. It could be maybe a group, activity. It could be group recitation. It could be enactment of something. It could be puppets, which could be shown to children. So these things help the child to have their brains develop in a better manner. Physical development, little exercises can be done. They can be made to play games where a little bit of running and jumping is involved. I mean, they're not to be made tired as far as physical activity is concerned, but something which they can do happily and comfortably, that should be included, or that is included in ECCE programs.
Excuse me, ma'am.
What's the benefit of ECCE program? Somebody is saying
Yes,
something,
Rachna ma'am,
sorry.
excuse me. Teachers, if the session get end, please rejoin from the same link. Please
Yeah.
rejoin the same link. Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah. So the benefits, earlier when, this ECCE concept had not started, parents and teachers had not realized the importance. Because when joint families were breaking into nuclear families, nobody realized what kind of effect it's going to have on little children. But with time, we realize that children, when they stay alone with ayahs or, those individual nurses, they are not taken care of. And in some cases, they've been beaten up very badly and mercilessly. So we came up with this idea that early childhood care is very important. They should not be left alone in the care of these, unscrupulous people. So ECC centers were started, and now we know how important they are. And these children who go to such schools where they are, they are loved and they're taken care of, it's seen, it's a proven fact that their academic performance improves. Another part is that their social and emotional skills will improve because right from the very beginning, they learn to be a part of society. Their emotional changes, the emotional, ups and downs are monitored, and they are very well taken care of. Behavioral problems come down because again, they share their problems and happiness, I've seen it myself in one of my schools where I was working. There was a baby who was crying continuously, and the teacher did a lot of things to make the child stop crying, but that particular child continued to cry. She then, suddenly she had a brainwave. She told the children, कि ये रोना बंद नहीं कर रहा है बच्चे, अब हम क्या करें? So they all got around. The teacher moved away, and they started talking to the child. And in 2 minutes, the child was okay. So this is what happens. They know how to take care of each other. The teacher may not be successful in doing so, but children know what to do because they understand each other's psyche. So behavioral problems can also be, said a bye-bye because the children are there to help each other. All right. The next one is increased economic productivity. Obviously, I mean, when the children grow up, it's not for little babies, but when the children are very young, my laptop is giving a lot of problems today. So this is for the later life, when the child is emotionally and in every way, the child is strong. Obviously, he or she is going to do very well in life. Right. So to sum up, we may think that small children do not need anything. They only need a lot of love from their parents. No, that's a misnomer. That is something which we have always misunderstood. Children always need a lot of care. They always need a lot of activities to be done up because ECC, this early childhood care and education, which may take place not only in a school, but in the house as well, in the midst of their family. It plays a vital role in shaping a child's future. So if we implement effective programs which focus on their holistic development, now we've heard this term a lot, holistic development. Every school, it professes, they shout from the rooftops, you are going to give holistic development to your child. but it doesn't actually happen. Everyone is into just marks, 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 and marks. Kitne marks aaye, 100 marks aaye, 95 aaye, 97 aaye, bas, that's it, So that we'll have to change our mentality. It is holistic development. It's the complete personality development of children that we must focus at, not just marks and report cards. Okay, that is important, undoubtedly. But do we want to make our children into bookworms, or do we make them get into seclusion where they do not mix up with society? No, we do not want. We want our children to have all kinds of talents, whether they are social, emotional. We want them to be very strong emotionally also. Physically, we want them to develop to the best of their abilities. So this is the holistic development that we are looking at. And if we implement ECCE in the best possible manner, then we will see that all these things that we profess about, these things will come to be true. So it's play-based learning, but it helps in the total personality development of our children. And these institutions will then empower our young children to reach their complete and full potential. So thank you, all of you educators, for watching this little presentation. That's in French, maxi, which is thank you. So thank you for watching. I just added a new word to my vocabulary. And I'll stop sharing my presentation. So thank you, Aarti ma'am, for giving me this opportunity of interacting with so many wonderful educators all over the country. I don't know from where everybody's joined.
Great.
Right?
Thank you so
Any
much,
questions?
Archana ma'am. Thank you so
You're
much. We'll
welcome.
take the questions, ma'am. Surely we'll take.
Yeah.
So, beautiful insights you have shared with us, and
Thank
we gained a lot of knowledge. Though the word ECC is like we are, reading X, Y, Z, but starting from A is again a turning point. So
Yes.
that learning should be from the very first letter, that is letter A. So we should know each and everything about our profession. If we are early year teachers, we should know what is this basically ECCE. So yes,
Yeah.
beautifully shared. We got a lot of knowledge from this, and now we'll be proceeding further, and we'll be doing one case study. So, as Archana ma'am has shared, nutrition in early childhood. It is a very important topic which I want to put light on. So, this case study is basically from the real lifetime only. And this is a study which I have done for my own one little child in the classroom, like say. So this is basically a call for the mother teachers and parents. I hope we are mother teachers here. And up to foundation years, we definitely take care of nutrition in the school. And after that, children are so much, into it and understanding the word nutrition that they, independently go for it. Though in early years also, we make the children to understand the word independent, and we inculcate such things in them, because we don't stop them to do certain things when they are initiating by themselves. So yes, in early years, the word nutrition is very important, and I don't know how many of you are putting your efforts for this particular word as well. So that is why I want to put some light on it, and let's see what is here. Sarah is a 3-year-old girl living in a suburban area with her parents. She attends daycare while her parents work full time. So they don't have any option, and they have to leave the child, right? And the child is facing issues, that is picking eating behavior. Picky eating behavior is commonly seen in the classrooms when we are dealing with early years. And I don't know what kind of approach you people follow in your classroom, but yes, the approach is that we have to feed the children as well. When we are making them to learn how to eat, we have to show them if they are not doing the same thing at home. We have to tell them that you have to use spoon. We have to tell them that you have to use your fingers to tear a bite. As ma'am told, tearing and pasting